Hello, and welcome to the Film Pulse Podcast. This is episode number 525. My name's Adam Patterson. With me today, we've got Kevin Rakestraw. Hey, Kevin.
Hey, how's it going?
It's going all right. Can't complain. Well, I can, but I'm not going to. This week on the show, we're going to be taking a look at Nickel Boys. This is not out yet, but keep an eye out for it. I believe it is still playing in theaters. It came out in theaters in December, I believe. Getting in on that 2024, award season run there.
Mm-hmm.
We're also going to be going over some of what we're watching on the watch list and new releases in theaters, VOD, and Blu-ray. Thank you so much for joining us this week. Let's go ahead and get straight into Nickel Boys. This is written and directed by Ramel Ross. I have a synopsis here. Based on the Pulitzer Prize-winning novel by Colson Whitehead, Nickel Boys chronicles the powerful friendship between two young African-American men navigating the harrowing trials of reform school together in Florida. Kevin, we'll start with you. What are your initial impressions of Nickel Boys?
Man, I was pretty excited for this. Ramel Ross, who did Hale County This Evening, which is a fantastic documentary. If you've not seen it, please do.
I actually haven't seen it, but it's like I was going to try to see it ahead of this episode, and it just didn't work. But maybe after I'm done recording.
You're in for a treat, my friend.
Yeah, I've heard nothing but great things about that as well. So
with that, it was kind of excited to see Ramel Ross do like a narrative feature, right? And right off the bat, I could tell it's a Ramel Ross movie, like just the camera work and everything. I was like, okay, so he's sticking with the experimental, not wildly experimental, but experimental enough for a feature-length movie narrative that's going to be playing in theaters. And I was a little bit trepidatious because at first I was excited, and then once kind of stuck with the POV camera work, I was like, oh boy, I don't know if I like this experiment. And I gotta say that I kind of came around to it. Wasn't a huge fan of the POV camera angles, but came around into it at the end because there's so much of this film that kind of makes up for it. Performance-wise, music, just the pacing, the story, just everything about it. It's just phenomenal that I kind of just moved on past the POV stuff.
Yeah, I think we can start by discussing the POV stuff. I could really take the POV stuff one way or the other in movies in general. Like sometimes I feel like it seems a little gimmicky. Sometimes if it's used sparingly, like in an action movie or something, I think that it could enhance the excitement. So going into this and knowing that it was going to be almost entirely POV, I wasn't really sure how that was going to work in a movie that is like very, very soundly in a drama. Like I don't know if I've ever seen like just a straight drama done in a POV, like shot in a POV like that. I've seen action, I've seen comedy, like Peep Show, so I just wasn't sure how I was going to feel. And I got to say, like for me, it really worked. I thought they did really interesting things with the POV. I mean, from like reflections and stuff like that, like when he can see himself in his mom's ironing as she's ironing and stuff like that. And there's just these moments where I truly believe that the POV enhances the narrative. The scene that's like on the poster when they're looking up at they're at the bus station or whatever, and they're looking up at themselves in the mirror. Like there's these moments that just I think really, really add to the beauty of this film. And I think that the POV really accentuates that. So I liked it overall, the POV specifically.
Yeah. And I would say that the thing that really helped it is once like Turner gets introduced and they start, they start swapping between, because I gotta tell you, like if it was Elwood's POV for the entire movie, it might have. I don't know if I could have taken it. But being able to switch between the two, I was like, oh, thank goodness. It just enlivened it.
Yeah, it certainly wouldn't have worked as well if we didn't switch. I mean, I think the whole movie could have possibly crumbled if they didn't switch perspectives. I mean, like, so much of the movie is based on, Turner's character as well. So, like,
yeah,
it wouldn't have worked if it was just Elwood. It has to be Turner. It has to be both of them. And I agree that I think that things. It was a nice reprieve when we did sort of get introduced to Turner and then switch perspectives to him and then moving back and forth. And it's not entirely all in POV. There are like some time jumps and things that happen where it's like I wouldn't call it POV. It's more like a third person, like over the shoulder type of shot. And that happens when we jump pretty far forward in time. And then there's, I believe, like one other scene maybe when that happens when they're younger. But so it does do some other stuff too. And also one of the aspects that I would say maybe lends itself to the kind of experimental category of this is like he almost injects like it almost seems like documentary style bits in here as well, like specifically when one of the characters, I'm not going to say who's, like looking things up online and stuff, so you're kind of brought into the historical aspect of this because this is based on a true, or how I would say based on real events, but like as far as I understand, the characters are fictional.
Yeah, but the school itself is
the school was real, and portions of the story were true. Learning about this school, it was horrific, and the fact that it was open until 2011 is insane, absolutely insane. With that being said, like I didn't really say how I like kind of my summary of this movie or how I felt about it. I loved this movie. This was easily my number one movie of 2024, even though I saw it 2025. It would have been on my list as probably number one. I thought this movie was absolutely fantastic. Like you said, the music, like the score, every shot in this movie is just beautiful. I loved pretty much every moment. It's I was kind of expecting it to be a harder watch than it was, and I think that Ramel Ross does a really good job of telling this story and telling it in a respectful way and not downplaying the like just horrendous things that happen in the school, but also not portraying them in a sort of exploitative way.
Yeah, he doesn't wallow in it.
Yeah. Like things happen, we know what's going on and stuff like that, but it's not presented in some sort of like grisly, like, force the viewer to watch what's happening here and confront it. Like it's not that kind of movie. It's much more hopeful in a lot of ways, despite the kind of awful things that these two friends are put through. I think at the end of the day, it is a story of friendship.
Well, I think that also works in the sense of how terrible this truly is like, because it's not like they don't shy away from it. They do talk about it occasionally throughout the movie that like they'll just kill you. You'll be dead.
Yeah.
They'll just bury you in the back. And like that's always looming. And like Turner, when he talks about later, where it's like there's nickel academies all across the country. Like this is happening in every state, just about. Like people just disappear. You go to reform schools or camps or whatever the hell they're called, whatever name they want to give it, and then you just disappear. And they say, you ran away or you got sick. Like this shit happened for a long time.
I mean, there was actually another branch of this school. This school was so popular that they opened another branch of it, which is also insane considering literally like over 100 kids were murdered at this school. Like it boggles
But it also
the
goes to
mind.
show you that, like, in those times, like, it was easy to cover this stuff up because no one really looked into it.
Yeah, nobody looked into it. Nobody had any power. Like I'm sure that the parents of these kids were trying to find out what happened, but they had no power because again, this is Jim Crow. This is in the deep South. This is North Florida, and it's maddening. It's maddening.
And I just want to reiterate what you said, that I think the way in which he mixes in like the documentary stuff and some of the like the historical photos and videos and stuff, that was just absolutely perfect.
Yeah.
And it's those types of things. It's the those little experimental flourishes, the music, the just kind of like out of nowhere, kind of like magical realism, crocodiles or alligators just showing up with that like discordant music, that creepy. I don't know what it was, but it was just really unsettling. That little music melody thing that was playing.
Yeah, I think everything was just so thoughtfully done in this. I mean, like it felt so meticulous in each scene. And this is one of these movies where you can take a still of any frame and it's art on your wall. Like it's that type of movie. It's just it's incredible. Like it is. I knew that I was going to like this movie. When I saw the trailer, I was like, okay, well, this is definitely going to be an Adam type of movie. I knew it, and I certainly was not let down. I mean, this hit all the right notes for me, and it's a powerful film. It's a very emotional film, but it's not so heavy that like some movies I would say like yes, it's an amazing film. It's a film that it's relevant and it's a must see and it's an important film, but you got to be in the right headspace to watch it or like, yeah, it was great to see once, but I don't know if I could watch it again. This isn't that type of film. This is a film that I can go back and watch again very easily and, still be enamored with it, but also I'm not going to feel entirely like beaten down by it, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, it does. And I concur. I concur. Like, and again, the only thing that didn't quite work for me was the POV, but it's a small quibble.
Yeah. Performances just fantastic all around. Amazing performances here, specifically from, the main cast here, Brandon Wilson and Ethan Heresy.
And Brandon Wilson. Is he, because I look up the movies he's in, and I haven't watched any of these. But was he like on a TV show or something? This guy looks so familiar.
I don't know. I don't think that I've seen anything that he was in.
Yeah.
No. Nope. I don't think I've seen anything that he was in.
Me either. He looks so familiar, though.
Yeah, he does.
Oh, he's in that one episode of Ray Donovan.
That's what it is. I knew I recognized him from something. Ray Donovan.
Ray Donovan.
Yeah, fantastic film. Absolutely must see. Check it out. It's one of those movies where like after I watched it, I immediately looked up everything I could on the true story behind this and like the school and everything, and like did a little bit of a deep dive into that, and oh man, pretty pretty rough. Pretty rough.
Yeah.
All right, let's go ahead and give it a score out of 10. I'm super high on this one. I'm at like 9.5.
Yeah. Like I'm at a 9, but there's a part of me that feels like it's a 10. But I think I'm gonna stick with 9 for now. I don't want to be too preemptive or something,
It's interesting. Like it's like what would be a 10? If this is a 9.5 for me, what would be a 10? And it's like almost like I'm scared to give any movie a 10, especially a movie that I just saw like within the last week or so. Like I feel like a 10 it almost requires you to reevaluate it in order to give it a 10. I feel like that's kind of just how it is.
Yeah.
Either way, this movie is absolutely incredible. Go see it.
Yes. Correct.
All right, let's talk about someone watching. I believe it is your turn this week, Kevin.
Hey, I only watched one thing.
All right.
And that's Bertrand.
There's no shame in that,
I know. Bertrand Tavernier's The Judge and the Assassin from 1976. Yeah. Watch out. I mostly watch this because I do like Tavernier, but also a big fan of Philippe Noiret, who plays the titular judge. So this is France, 1893. So there's this guy gone mad, and he's just like all over the countryside, just killing and raping people. Just killing and raping. And the judge gets obsessed with like trying to catch this guy. Like he's obsessed with all the accounts. He's keeping track of everything. He's got, eyewitness accounts. He's sketched out this drawing of what the man might look like. Like he's just become completely obsessed with catching this guy. Finally does.
Get this son of a bitch.
You're gonna fucking get this guy. Because this guy is he's fucking pathetic. Like it all starts with him, like he was obsessed with this woman and was like, "Oh, you have to marry me." And she's like, "No, I'm not going to do that." So he just shoots her a couple of times and then shoots himself. They both somehow survive. And then from then on, he just killing spree across the country. But they finally catch him. And he just becomes so obsessed with trying to get this guy to confess that they kind of become friendly with each other under false pretenses. And he's kind of blurring that line, of his own morality. It's an interesting movie, but I gotta say, if I never saw this in my lifetime, I don't think I would have missed anything. Like it's okay, it's fine, but right. I just like a light recommend. Like if you're, but don't seek it out.
I see. The Judge and the Assassin.
Judge and the Assassin.
The sort of sticking with the court theme, I saw The Prosecutor. This is written, directed, and starring Donnie Yen. Yeah. I'm pretty big Donnie Yen fan, and this is his latest one. Dude's 61 years old at this point, and he is still cranking out solid action movies. I mean, this is a great Hong Kong action flick, but it also blends in an exciting courtroom thriller. So what you have here is Donnie Yen. He's like this super cop, and he makes this big bust, and the criminals get away on a technicality. And he's like, well, all right, I'm getting up there in age. I'm going to retire from the police force, and I'm going to become a prosecutor. So he does just that. And the first case that he has, this kid gets arrested and charged with drug trafficking. Now, what happened was this somebody approached this kid and was like, "Hey, I'll give you $1,000 if you just let me send a package to your house, and then I'll send somebody to pick it up." And of course, the kid's like, "Well, yeah," because he's like living in it's him and his grandfather living in this like kind of very rundown shack. They're very, very, very poor. And he gets caught and arrested, and he ends up through the legal system, ends up getting like 20 years. And Donnie Yen, even though he's a prosecutor, he's like, there's more to this case. This kid is innocent. I got to do something. So he starts looking into it, and it turns into this very complex web of corruption at the judicial level, and like the triads are involved and other gangs and stuff, and there's all this like drug smuggling that's happening, and it's great. Like it's a lot of fun. There's some really good action set pieces here and some really good like courtroom stuff as well. It's a nice kind of blend of both things. They don't skimp on the action, but they're certainly less than, some other stuff that we've seen. And I like Donnie Yen's action sequences because they're a nice blend of like the kind of Jackie Chan style Hong Kong action where it's like kind of over the top, like using all kinds of objects, using the environment, stuff like that, like lots of acrobatics and just very kinetic. But also it's more brutal than something like a Jackie Chan film where there's, people are getting killed, people are getting shot, stabbed. Like it's a little bit more visceral than something like a Jackie Chan movie. So it's like a really nice kind of hybrid. But yeah, it's a solid action flick if you're looking to see something that has some really good, fun action sequences and a pretty decent like courtroom drama as well. So The Prosecutor. And the last one that I'll mention is Trauma. This is directed by Dario Argento. For some reason, I never sought this one out. This came out in 1993. I think like one of the main things that's known about this movie is that it's the one that like he kind of drew some controversy over how he shot his daughter in this, Ozzy Argento. Like there's multiple scenes where she's nude and it's completely unnecessary and feels really scuzzy. And I'm not sure exactly why he wanted to do that, but he did. She was 18 when this movie was shot, but she's playing a 16-year-old in the movie. And also in the movie, she has a relation. She's 16, the character, and she has a relationship with a 30-year-old. So it's kind of all around kind of gross. The premise here is that Ozzy Argento plays a woman who has an eating disorder, who's recovering from this eating disorder. She ends up meeting this guy who's a journalist. He's a drug addict, and there's a serial killer on the loose, and they sort of team up to try to figure out who the serial killer is. And the motive here, not the motive, but the method in which the serial killer ends people is like this. It's like this machine that has like a wire, like a piano wire, and it like tightens. So he will sneak up behind you and put it around you and flip the switch and it'll cut your head off. And they call him the headhunter.
Oh no.
Yeah. So there's lots of decapitations in this movie. I did not like this movie very much at all. I usually like most Argento stuff, even like in his like kind of not great movies, I still find things that I enjoy about them. However, Trauma, I just was not into at all. Like it was so poorly edited. It was hokey. It didn't make a lot of sense. It wasn't that interesting. The characters were lame. The main character, played by Christopher Rydell, was an idiot douchebag. Like I didn't like him at all.
Fucking idiot.
Yeah, the effects work was fine, but nothing like particularly great. It was Savini that did the effects work, and some of it was good and some of it was like meh. But yeah, just not into it at all, unfortunately. Which is bit of a shame considering Argento directed some of my favorite horror movies.
Speaking of which, I didn't get to finish, but I started Tenebrae.
Oh, okay.
So I was hoping to get it finished before but man, that's It's an interesting movie so far. It's just some weird comedy stuff in there. It just seems out of place, but is also hilarious at the same time. So it works.
Yeah, that's the thing with a lot of his movies is like there's just like weird random shit in them that where you're like, what?
It's just the two things that I just want to mention. John Saxon plays the writer's like agent, and Peter Neal, the writer, is like kind of making fun of him with his new hat. And he's like, "Oh, it's great. I love this hat." And he's like, "It's not going to drop off." And he's like, "What do you mean? Like, it's going to fall off." And he like puts it on his head and just does these weird like whipping his head around real fast to show that the hat won't fall off. And he's just like, "See, the hat stays on." And like that's a whole scene. And you're just like, "What the fuck? Why?" And then when he's talking to, or I guess his assistant is talking to the like one of the investigators. It's like, "Oh, you probably don't drink because you're on duty." He's like, "No, I only drink when I'm on duty. So I will have a glass of scotch, please." And she brings him like a highball of scotch. And he's like, "Thank you very much." And he just fucking downs it.
Yeah, I mean, Argento is he's an interesting director. That's for sure. Like his movies are always something different, except for Trauma, which
fucking idiots.
It's pretty bad.
Fucking idiots in it.
I think at this point, like 93, like I feel like that's when things were going downhill for like the quality of his movies. Like I loved the Stendhal Syndrome, which was after that. But yeah, I don't know. Either way, Trauma. Maybe check out any one of Argento's other movies instead.
I've always looked at like his filmography, and that has never been on the list of things to watch.
It's just there's just nothing to it. Like it's just so generic. Like there's just nothing memorable about it. It's like the most generic kind of pseudo giallo that's like, but it's not cool looking. Like there's no cool visuals or anything. Like there's a couple scenes are okay, but yeah, nothing super memorable about it. All right, let's take a look and see what we have in theaters this week. Captain America, Brave New World.
There's a new Captain America movie?
There is, yeah.
They're still doing this.
Yeah, they're still trying. They're trying to make it work.
Okay.
This one's going to have Harrison Ford in it, and he's going to be a Hulk.
Oh, Harrison he's a Hulk now?
Yeah, he's going to be a Red Hulk.
Wait, he's also the president, though?
Yeah.
What? The president is Red Hulk?
I think so.
Wow. Wait.
Yep.
I've been out for a while, I guess. Anthony Mackie's Captain America?
Uh-huh. He's Captain America now.
What?
Mm-hmm.
Is that legal? You allowed to just change Captain America?
Sure. Yeah. Captain America. In the comics, Captain America is multiple different people.
When did this change happen?
At the end, the last Avengers.
Okay.
Endgame. That was the current Steve Rogers Captain America bowing out and retiring.
Gotcha.
Yeah. But I'm probably not going to go see this. I'll probably check it out when it hits VOD or Disney Plus or whatever, but I have zero interest in this. Paddington in Peru is also coming out. That's the other big theatrical release. I very much liked Paddington and Paddington 2 specifically. I'm not going to go see this in theaters, but this is another one that I'll probably watch with my daughter when it hits VOD. I think she'll probably like that quite a bit. Speaking of VOD, this week we got Better Man, which is that Robbie Williams one, which looks so horrible to me. And first of all, I don't like Robbie Williams to begin with, so like there would be no I would not see this no matter what. But like the whole premise, I think, is just so stupid.
Yeah, man, Robbie Williams is back. That guy
back with a vengeance.
That guy used to irritate the shit out of me.
I know, he was such an arrogant piece of shit. At least that's the way he came off. I don't know if that I'm pretty sure that's probably how he actually was. A lot of people didn't even know, like, don't even know who Robbie Williams is. At least people in America. But I guess he hasn't been very relevant in the U.S. for many decades.
No, because literally I kind of forgot about him until this movie started showing up, and I was like, "Oh yeah, Robbie Williams."
Yeah, he's much more famous over in the UK. But he had like one or two hits over here.
Yeah, it's just enough time has passed that he's just kind of forgotten about.
It'd be like all of a sudden a Jamiroquai biopic coming out.
Yeah, but he's timeless in some ways.
In some ways, yeah, you're right. We also have Hard Truths coming out. We got One of Them Days. I want to see that. I'm interested in that one. That's the comedy with Keke Palmer and SZA. Let's see what else we got here. Night's War.
We
got Mom. Ship of Dreams. Titanic Movie Diaries. Behind the scenes stories from the legendary blockbuster. Wow.
Oh, yeah.
Boy, that one sounds rough. Those are all going to be dropping on February 11th. The 14th, we got Inheritance. I feel like recently there's been like 25 movies called Inheritance. Can't keep them all straight. We have Inhabitants. We got Rounding. When I'm Ready. I Love You Forever. Kids Snow. One Night in Tokyo. Something is About to Happen. Upon Waking. And Bonnie Blue. What is this? James Cotton's Life in the Blues. So it looks like it got a little biopic there, a little rock doc.
A little rock doc action. Hey, just update on the whole Inheritance thing. There's been 4 movies so far in 2024.
I knew it.
Either called Inheritance or The Inheritance.
I knew that there was because one of them I actually wanted to see, and I kept getting mixed up about which one was which. Yeah. On Netflix this week, we got Sirens of the Deep, which is an animated Witcher film. That comes out on the 11th. On the 12th, we have Honeymoon Crasher. And then also on the 12th, we have Death Before the Wedding.
What you want.
On the 13th, we have La Dolce Villa. On the 14th, we have The Most Beautiful Girl in the World. Jolo, There Is No Cure. Doom Dom.
What?
And Love Forever. Yeah, it seems like Netflix is really trying to cash in on the Valentine's Day thing. There's like like 7 romance movies coming out. Amazon this week, we got My Fault London and Broken Rage. Whoa, that's a new Takeshi Kitano.
Oh shit.
I was not familiar with this. Broken Rage is based on his concept of exploring comedy within a violent film.
Yeah.
This hour-long film is divided into 2 parts. The first half depicts a hard-boiled crime action where a hitman caught between the police and the Yakuza struggles to survive. The second half ingeniously retells the same story using self-parody techniques, presenting it in a comedic style.
Mm-hmm.
Did you say yes or no?
I want it. Just give it to me.
Yeah, it's going to be on Amazon Prime, so maybe that might take a look at that.
I just canceled that shit. Of course.
Yeah, My Fault London. I don't know what this is. My Fault London. I guess it's a sequel or remake of some sort of another movie called My Fault. I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyway, Hulu this week, we got Sly Lives, which looks like maybe it's another rock doc here. Yeah, Sly and the Family Stone.
Man.
On Shudder, we got The Dead Thing coming out. On Blu-ray this week, I didn't pull up the releases.
Come on.
We have John Carpenter's Vampires from 1998. I was a big fan of that movie. I think that movie's a lot of fun. It sucks that James Woods got all, shitty.
Mm-hmm.
I think if I were to watch it now, that might taint how I feel about the movie. Maybe not, though. Maybe it'd still be a lot of fun. We've got Nice Guys from 2016. This is coming out in 4K. Ghosts of Mars from 2001 coming out in 4K. It's another John Carpenter.
Yeah, watch out now.
I liked Ghost of Mars too. I mean, it's not like both that and Vampires are not like objectively good movies, but they're a lot of fun. We got Alice, Sweet Alice coming out in 4K. That's on Arrow. That's a re-release, nice. I believe.
Yeah.
We have Lifeguard from 1976, Hot Pursuit from 1987, Racing with the Moon from 1984. That's a 40th anniversary edition.
40th anniversary of Racing with the Moon?
Yep.
Oh my God.
Huge.
Can you imagine all the people they're going to be celebrating that?
Clamoring. We've been waiting with bated breath to get the 40th anniversary edition of Richard Benjamin's classic Racing with the Moon.
Oh, you got Sean Penn, Nicolas Cage.
Yep.
Crispin Glover. Elizabeth McGovern. They're running from a train. Racing with the Moon.
I've never even heard of this movie.
Never heard of this either.
I feel like I've maybe
fake. It looks fake, dude.
I feel like maybe I've seen a clip of it or maybe saw part of it on TV because I seem to remember seeing Sean Penn in that outfit, that like suit.
I feel like this, like the Letterboxd page. This looks like a fake movie. Like the poster looks fake.
Yeah.
This is a fake poster. This is fake. This is real.
Fake movie.
Fake movie.
Let's see. We have A Certain Killer and A Killer's Key. It's a double pack. Arrow putting that out.
Gotta love a double pack.
Oh, yeah. Black Dynamite 1944. No, sorry. Dick Dynamite 1944. I was like, what? Pinocchio 964 coming out in 4K. Avoid that one. Oh my God. Did you end up watching Pinocchio 964?
No.
Oh my God. It's
yeah. No, thank you.
There's a movie called Shit coming out.
You say Shit?
Yeah. Called Shit.
From 1969 or 2009?
2023.
What?
Bouncy Films is putting it out. At 2 a.m., three women have committed a heinous crime. In a holding cell, they await their fate.
What? Not even on Letterboxd.
That's a sleeper.
A deep cut.
Yeah. What about Criterion's this week?
We have one, and that's Jean-Luc Godard's King Lear from 1987, his first English language narrative movie. Peter Sellers, Molly Ringwald. So, there you go. There's that.
Cool. There's another one I just saw here called The Last Match coming out.
Last Match.
Cauldron Films is releasing this from 1991. The cover looks incredible. It's a football team, and they're all holding M16s. One of them is holding a rocket launcher.
Yep. There's multiple helicopters and a football.
It stars Ernest Borgnine.
Holy shit. Wait.
And it's Italian from looks of it. So you better believe that's getting put on my watch list.
Oh my God, dude. He's trying to get his daughter out of jail. Doesn't happen. So his coach and his teammates show up in full football gear, armed to the teeth, ready to free her by any means necessary. So he calls in the football team. And Jim Kelly plays himself, the Buffalo Bills quarterback. Oh my God.
I mean, what? They just don't make them like that anymore, you know?
And just Blake Crane, one here, just a review that says need more grenade punts. So you at least know there's one.
At least one, yeah.
Someone is punting one grenade.
That's enough for me.
Hell yeah.
Cool. I think that's going to do it for this week. Thank you so much for listening. You can send us your questions and topics to podcast@filmpulse.net. And if you could, consider giving us a review on your podcast platform of choice. For Kevin Rakestraw, my name's Adam Patterson. We'll see you next week.